Hi, Elson Scholars. You guys, I can tell you guys are ready for a good day. You guys ready to greet me yet? Outstanding. Can I get a hoot, hoot, hoot? Outstanding. All right, let's get into this. Today we are going to continue. Don't forget, we're going to be in Matter uh, for the next 2 weeks. So we are going to add a little bit each day. So let me get to a quick review. And the review is just a statement: matter is everywhere and everything. Matter is anything that takes up space. So if it takes up space, it is matter and it has mass. Let's go forward. All right. Matter, properties, and changes. Okay, we're going to have to compare the weight of the object to the sum of the weight of its parts before and after interaction, and summarize properties of original materials and the new materials formed to demonstrate that a change has occurred. We're not going to get too deep into the chemical changes, even though it is a fifth grade learning objective. I just want to stick to understanding what the properties of matter is. Okay, and let's go forward. Matter, although matter can be classified into three different states or types, it can also be described using its properties. Properties are characteristics, features, qualities, or traits. Things about them that make them like that. Well, if it's shiny, it's probably metal or something like that. Or it has luster, it's shiny. Shiny and luster mean the same thing. You'll learn a lot about that in the coming years. And the property of matter is basically how it looks. Is it shiny, dull, color, etc.? How it feels. Is it hard, soft, rough, smooth, etc.? Or how it smells. Sweet, sharp, terrible, no smell, etc. And how it sounds. Is it loud, soft, echo, no sound? Okay, the sound waves bounce off of it and create that echo. And what it does: bounce, stretch, tear, break, magnetism, etc. Miss Burton is doing an excellent video on magnetism, and I don't want to really cross that because hers is really, really good. 1 second. Let's keep going. Classification of properties. Now that you have finished your first lab, or we didn't really finish your first lab, we're going to go forward and just talk about. We're actually in day 3. As a student, you'll be able to identify and determine. Oh, I'm sorry. A physical change in matter is when it changes its property, but not its chemical nature. Basically, you have a piece of paper and you cut it in half. Well, it used to be a 4 by 6 inch piece of paper, but now I've cut it in half and it is a 2 by 6 inch piece of paper, or it's a 3 by 4 inch piece of paper, whichever dimension you choose to cut. So that is a physical change in property. I'm only going to barely touch on physical, chemical changes. Physical changes in matter, although some properties like shape, phase of the material change. So melting an ice cube is really not changing the chemical that's there. The water is not changing, it's just changing state. So that's only a physical change. Okay. The material itself is the same before and after the change, and a change can be undone. I can freeze that water back. Okay. And physical changes in matter would be the shape, the texture, the size, dissolves. And a lot of times think it disappears, so it's a chemical change. Not always. The only time when something dissolves, it can come back. I can, like if I dissolve salt in water, if I just wait a while, all of that water will evaporate and the salt will be still left there at the bottom of the glass. So it does not change the chemicals itself. All right. Or it just breaks it apart. So if I broke a pencil in half, it's still a pencil, but it's now in two halves. It's still the same chemistry of a pencil. So those physical characteristics are still the same characteristics of that material itself, even though it might be broken, cut, or it might change state, like in the case of like water or something. Okay. Physical changes. Matter is the same. The particles of the subject, the substance might be rearranged. Okay. like ice and water. Well, the particles are slipping and sliding over each other when it's liquid water, but when it's ice, they become fixed and they get rearranged and they get a nice hard structure that cannot be changed very easily. Okay, the original matter can be recovered. You can get back to what you had before. That's a very important component of it to make sure it's a physical change of matter. Still the same thing, and I can go back to what I originally had. All right, aluminum foil is cut in half. Clay is molded into a new shape. Butter melts on warm toast. Water evaporates from the surface of the ocean. Juice freezes. Rubbing alcohol evaporates in your hand. Okay. And did a physical changes lab. We're not going to do the general response. We're not going to really mess with day 4. We're only in day 3 of this, so we will stop here and we will talk about that. Be sure to watch Miss Burton's video on magnetism. It's going to be awesome for you guys. And we'll talk again fairly soon. I think the next talk I have with you guys this week will be on relative density. Does it float or does it sink? Have a good one, guys.